Hello, everyone. Fantasy and sci-fi focused people and anyone else around the world who is watching. I do believe I am live. So, get going here. My name is PD Oliva. It's very nice to meet everyone there. And, shit. There we go. No, don't do that. Nice. Get out of there. Thank you. There I am. Nice. Holy shit. This Facebook Live stuff goes a little bit hairy every once in a while. But I'm here. Technical difficulties are taken care of. Hope everyone's doing having a good day today. I'm a little bit off today, as you can notice. We got a big storm pulling in, and it is a nice rainy Friday in South Florida, and that's where I'm at. So, hope the weather is fantastic where you are. I do love the rain, so I say bring it on. I was doing some reading earlier. Where's the book? Ronald Malfi, Come With Me. Really good book, actually. Definitely a very good book. Great storytelling. Ronald Malfi, definitely. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And we'll be leaving a review probably tomorrow for that one. So, but without further ado, let's get into this. So I'm here to do a Q&A. Now, I have done some of these questions before, probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago. So I have some other questions. So I'm going to read these questions too, and then I have a few others that I kind of give out to people who are doing a Q&A in a reader group that I have. So I'll answer a few of those because I find them interesting too. And let's go. All right, first with a quick introduction. My name is PD Oliva. I write sci-fi novels, sci-fi fantasy novels, as well as horror novels. And some people say my sci-fi fantasy is also borderline sci-fi horror. So I think that's a fantastic compliment, definitely, because I love sci-fi horror. I'm actually writing a blog right now about the seven sci-fi horror movies you must watch, and that's pretty cool. I might actually I know one of these questions here is like favorite movie. Maybe I'll just list those sci-fi horror movies. You go from there. Anyway, unfortunately, my sci-fi fantasy series is called The Rose, all right? And I just gave out the volume 1, the first book, where the last book I had a volume 1 to someone, so the only thing I have to show you is volume 2 at the moment, and that's my cover. It's my bad boy right there, Sonos. He is the alien vampire and main villain in the novel, and he is kind of based him kind of loosely on Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker, coupled with Hannibal Lecter. And obviously he's a badass diabolical motherfucker. So I love that man, dude. I'm writing volume 3, and I'm very excited about volume 3 too. And I get to delve in even more with my man Sonos, or my vampire Sonos there. I also write horror novels, and this is my psychological horror novel called Gollum. Devil is in the details. And then I'm writing more than a few books right now too, but we'll get into that as well. I believe that's one of the questions here. So, hope everybody's doing fantastic, and let's get into Mike Evans' questions. Interesting. Okay. Tell us about the first project you worked on when you knew you wanted to be a writer. Okay. First project. All right. So I've known that I wanted to be a writer since I was a little kid. And the first full-length novel that I wrote was based on coupled with a dream that I had, along with a love at the time of Dungeons and Dragons, and of course Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. Actually, probably even before Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. Or actually, it was during. So Hobbit, I did read The Hobbit first. I think it was like 12. So this is around that same time. All right. And so it took place, and I had to deal with a band of misfits who had to go and find a book. It was called The Book of the Dead, I believe. Maybe The Book of Life. No, I think it was The Book of the Dead. And they had to go through all this forest to get to this castle to find this book. If not, the world was going to, obviously be cast in a shroud of darkness and all that good fun stuff that 12-year-olds love to talk about. So that was my first project. And that was 12 years old. And I knew that, and I knew before then that I wanted to be a writer. I do love writing. I have a profound respect for the written word and for all of literature. So, but a long time coming. Let's keep going. Do you have a favorite character to write? Next question. Do you have a favorite character to write? Yes, I do. I love writing villains, without a doubt. Villains to me make the story. A great villain is going to make or break your story. What would Silence of the Lambs be without Hannibal Lecter? Probably said that a gazillion times before, but it's definitely true. So villains are definitely my favorite to write. Hence Sonos, hence Gollum. Gollum, fantastic character. He was loosely based on a little bit of Lestat with a little bit of Hannibal Lecter too. Those are my favorite characters. A little bit Hannibal Lecter, and then an eclectic mix of like Mr. Hyde from Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, like things like that. So I do love writing a good villain. It makes me very happy. I'm also the type of guy that likes to root for the bad guys during the movies. So villains, yeah, yes, kind of feeds that dark part of my head. It's in there. That's a fact. Has a character ever surprised you? Yes, more than a few times. Maybe you thought they were one way, but they turned out to be completely different. Yes, they did. They did. This is the question. Can you tell us about this experience? Yes, I can. So a few characters have done that. So which one should I pick? I'm going to go with a character by the name of Kara. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm editing this book currently, and this is what I refer to as my COVID quarantine satirical cosmic grindhouse horror fantasy thriller novel. Really just a thriller, all right? But if you want an eclectic view of everything that is actually in that book, that is what you're dealing with. And it's called Jiggly Spot and the Zero Intellect. And Jiggly Spot is a half-human, half-warlock alien pimp who's also a lackey for a species of demons from the planet Shabolba. All right. And he has been tasked. There's a problem going on with his demon friends that has messed up the summer solstice of 2019. And he is tasked by his alien demons from Shabalba with pulling off this summer solstice cannibal celebration, in which they're going to be coronating a new queen, and the Dark Lord is going to be there. However, Jiggly Spot, he's also moonlights as kind of like a drug dealer and then a pimp, right? An alien pimp. A pimp for aliens. Too funny. Well, kind of like a reverse pimp. You get what I'm saying. Anyway, so one of these alien people that he brings in from other planets, her name is Kara, and she loves Jiggly Spot. Jiggly loves her. Kara used to be a very bad person, but a few decades ago she turned over a new leaf, and she has a new lease on life and everything that's going on. And Kara, when I first read Kara, she was a big character. It was really just one scene that she was going to be mentioned once or twice before. But it was really just one main scene that I wanted her in, and there was a reason for that, because I needed, a little bit of background on Jiggly Spot to be put in there. I needed some other information to kind of, mold the story to where I needed it to go. So introduce Kara at that point, And when she first came in, she looked very different. She was very tall and slender. And then she morphed, and she was Jiggly is 4'9", so she's under Jiggly, so she's like 4'8", and she's got pasty white skin, very sexy, and she's got these two tentacles on her head. The tentacles are alive as well. The tentacles are they got blue eyes with blue lashes. Very fantastic character, right? And I noticed while I'm writing Jiggly Spot, I'm writing this character, Kara. She kept coming into my head, into my dreams, waking me up, stopping me from writing. And I couldn't figure it out at first. And I would hit a point of writer's block, and I'd be like, what the hell is going on? Why can't I just move this story forward? What is happening? I do my, mindfulness writer's block type of, protocol that I go through. And then it dawns on me, all of a sudden, boom, the thought just pops in my head, is I need to go back and I need to rewrite Kara. It's like she herself, the character, did not like the way that I was writing her character. And then through those edits and those changes, she came back. And she actually becomes an extremely integral part of the entire story. 100%. She's a kick-ass character. So I was very excited that her character took on that persona and had such a profound effect on the rest of the book. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. And it's not just a bit part, like I said, she's a main character, especially towards the end of that book. So, good stuff. Thank you, Kara. It was wonderful spending time with you, and you're kind of doing the same thing to me right now as you did when I was writing, and now that I'm editing, you're messing with me again. So sooner or later, if I ever meet you in some other dimension, I'm going to have a few words for you. And your tentacles better not give me those bad eyes either. So, too funny. Yeah, a little off. But that's okay. Character ever surprise you? Where am I? What do you... Okay. I got to move the Word doc down. Next question. What do you do when you're just not motivated to write? What do? I read. That's what I do. I read, and I'll read a lot. And I'll take my time. If the motivation's not there, I don't like forcing it, but there does come a time where I need to start getting the juices flowing, right? So it's okay to take breaks. For me, it is, at least. I know other writers don't like doing that, but for me, I need to take my time with a novel. Maybe it's that perfectionist part of me and knowing that it's never going to be perfect anyway, but I do like to take my time. The story's always in my head. So I do like to take my time. So it's okay to take a break. So I read a lot. Obviously, I love reading. I'm a writer and a reader, and I love to read. So I'll read tons of books, if I'm not motivated to write, in the next book, because I write different genres, right? And the next book I'm about to write is, say, sci-fi, right? I'll go ahead and I'll make sure that I'm reading a bunch of sci-fi books because I want to get the inspiration. I want that spark of inspiration to happen. So I'll read a lot of sci-fi. If I'm about to write a horror novel or I need to edit a horror novel, then I'm going to write or read horror novels. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? What I'll also do is I'll get into nostalgia. I have a fantastic memory. I love my nostalgia. It holds a special place in my heart, probably because when I was growing up, things were insane at home. And those are the things that actually, even though they were so far off of reality, that reality was definitely better than my reality. So when I get into that nostalgia, I get the muse comes, the spark happens again. That's what I like to do. All right. Next question. How do you balance writing, reading, family, and a job if you're working? Okay. How do I balance it? Well, all right. I guess I should preface this with what my job is, or something that I've been doing for close to 20 years now, as I am actually, as messed up as this may sound to some people watching this interview or meeting me for the first time, I'm actually a psychotherapist and a hypnotist. And I've been doing that for close to 20 years. It's getting close. And I probably just aged myself, but that's okay too. I have no problem getting old. Bring it on. So I'm a psychologist or a psychotherapist and a hypnotist, and that is my job, right? I've been doing it for 20 years, but I have a private practice. I do trauma therapy. My specialty is trauma therapy, sometimes with addiction and personality disorders as well, but trauma therapy first and foremost, and I do that at a substance abuse and mental health treatment center as well, and then I have private practice, but I only do that about 20 hours a week. It's how much time I give to it. It's like a calling. I need to do it. The universe says I need you over there, and that's what I do. I open the door, I go in the room, boom, snap, different personality comes out. Whoever that person needs me to be is who I become. It's like click, and I see amazing healing going on in that room. And I know it doesn't come from me. It comes from somewhere up above. It's definitely something else is working through me. So you can see the face change, the energy shift. It's like a click, and it's absolutely fantastic. I love it when it happens, and it's fantastic to see how it changes the lives of the person that I'm working with. And it's like I still have like patients that I've seen 15 years ago that still get in contact with me today, and they're doing awesome. And it's the spider web too. You're not just helping out one person, you're helping out everyone in their immediate family. You're helping out their kids, their future grandkids, their grandkids, because you're changing up a pattern, right? an energetic flow, a pattern and energy towards something that would have been or could have been dire or dark into something that turns out to be beautiful and wonderful. So I enjoy that. All right, so that's what I do. Balance. All right. How do I do everything else? I do believe that balance is a huge part of life, and we need to work on balance at least on a daily basis. So with all those things that you're mentioning here, writing, reading, family, and a job, everything needs to be balanced accordingly. So if I haven't spent quality time with my kids or my family, I'm going to throw everything down, boom, and that's what I'm going to do. Make sure. How does it get done? You're just watching. You're kind of like flowing like water, watching to make sure everything gets done and everything is in a good balance. If I'm not feeling a certain way with writing, I'll go ahead and I'll be reading, and I'm reading anyway, but maybe I'll just read. It takes me a while to read too, and this is because of that balance. I'm not going to go shut out the entire world and read that book, and unless it's a day where I could actually do that would be good. But I'm going to make sure that everybody is getting balanced out. I'm giving attention to every single person that's there. So it's a good thing, including writing and reading. So that is what I love to do. That's where I find the most peace, is when I'm writing. So that is a must-have, and it needs to happen. And then when I say writing, editing too, I consider this, it's not the same process, but the same creative process. So keep it there too. Right now I'm editing Jiggly Spot in the Zero Intellect and doing a little bit of writing on The Rose Volume 3. But the main focus right now is Jiggly Spot in the Zero Intellect. I also wake up really early. I get up about 4:30 in the morning, and I do get a lot of my writing or editing done within that time before everybody gets up. So that is a great thing to do as far as balance. Good? Good. Next question. Do I write stories with an audience in mind? Stories with an audience in mind. I'd say kinda, sorta type of thing. When I write my sci-fi novels or sci-fi horror novels, I'm thinking about that person, that alien, reading that book 1,000 years from now and enjoying themselves. So that's an audience that I have in mind. Let's see, when I'm writing horror books, horror book lovers, 100%. I want to friggin' dazzle every horror book reader that's out there. So 100%. And of course my sci-fi books too. So, I guess genre specific type of audience, other than the aliens, which is always cool too. I'm hoping that they read my book sometime in the future. Let's go. Next question. How do you navigate the dilemma of writing characters of a different gender than your own? How do I navigate it? And is it a dilemma? I don't consider it a dilemma. I'm sorry to say, everyone out there, I do not consider that a dilemma. I don't know. I've always had an uncanny knack of being able to read people. That's what makes great writers to begin with. Understanding the human condition, understanding how the mind works. My years in the psychology field also, 100%. I mean, most of my clients that I see or patients that I see are women or have been women. So, yeah, really not a problem. I think when writing, especially from a psychological perspective, understanding belief systems and how, number one, how they're formed. Belief systems are formed within the first 14 years of life. How are they formed? Family, friends, school, news, whatever you're watching, whatever you're hearing, it creates those belief systems that we have in our mind. That's our programming. And then what happens is we base and we see everything based on our programming as well, because there's like 4,000 bits of information coming at you at every second during the day, but you don't see 4,000 bits of information. You see very few. What you do is you delete, distort, or generalize that information to validate your belief system. And then what you do is you create situations, circumstances, and events that also validate your belief system. This is why two people could see the same movie or read the same book and have a completely different opinion. We see the world through the lens of our belief system. When you understand that, writing anybody that's out there becomes a lot easier. I will say that. Okay, Nice. Let's keep going. What made you realize you wanted to be an author? Um, Finding peace through writing. Keep that. Specifically, a fantasy sci-fi author. My imagination goes like, I live on Pluto. People tell me that I need to come down, back down to Earth all the time. They've been telling me that my entire life. So here I am, and I figured, why not be spacey? I even got my spacey shirt on. I need some space. See? Yes. So that's my shirt. I like being out there in the cosmos. It's a hell of a lot better than this place most of the time. Oh, this place is absolutely beautiful as well. So, okay, let's keep going. That I did do that. No. Tolkien, Martin, Rowling, all revolutionized what we thought was possible and what became mainstream. Is moving the industry something you're interested in, and if so, in what direction? I mean, yes and no, but yes. I think indie authors are fantastic. I think indie publishing is fantastic. I think traditional publishing has been great. I mean, it has, but I see a lot out there is cookie cutter type of crap. So it's the same story over and over and over again. And I see that in indie publishing, and I especially see that even more in traditional publishing. So I'd like things to be, let's start breaking molds, let's start changing stuff up, have some fun with the old stuff, but changing it up and having fun with it, turning it into something completely different, and having new takes on things. I think that's what needs to happen. That would be good. I think that would be good. I love variety, and I love tons of possibilities and everything that's out there. So let's change some things up. That's what I gotta say. Maybe Jiggly Spot will do that. Son of a bitch, Jiggly Spot. I love you. Anyway, here we go. If you could change the world by doing one thing, what is something you would change right away? If you change the world, I'm not going to skip that question. I'm going to make it real simple. One thing that will definitely change the world is a mass extinction. And that would actually change the world, and then Mother Earth could start over. And we'll fly off into the cosmos, and, our species will reappear in some planet a million years from now and do this all over and try to get it right the next time. So don't worry about it, Nothing ever truly dies. We just transform into something else. So it'll be all right. All right. I'm just kidding. But no. What is your favorite movie? Okay, this is the one. Let's go to that Sci-Fi. Where's that blog? All right. First of all, my favorite movie of all time, 100%, is The Godfather. So, but let's go to these Sci-Fi movies. Here it is. All right, nice. Okay, so this is a very eclectic list. All right, so I'm just gonna go down. A lot of them are from the 80s. I grew up in the 80s, mostly the 90s, but I was a little shit kid in the 80s, and watching VHS, watching these films all on VHS, probably loving it, probably enjoying it when my parents didn't know about it too. So let's go with it. All right, so let's go with number one, Swamp Thing. Yes, definitely Swamp Thing. That's a sci-fi horror movie. And most of these are B-rated too, just to let you know. You're not going to get like cinematic excellence out there, although you will get some awesome sci-fi excellence. I do give them kudos, especially with this next one. So Swamp Thing, 100%. That's highly suggested. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I love the Killer Clowns from Outer Space. They're actually, it's too funny. They're actually a small bit part. They're clowns. They're from outer space. They are mass killers too. They're actually a good species as well, right? So in Jiggly Spot, they actually help to raise Jiggly Spot. But Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Here's another one. Invaders from Mars. Yes, let's go over the hill. They tell them the Martians come in and everyone's got Band-Aids on the back of their neck, because that's like how they get in. Fantastic movie. Scared the hell out of me as a kid. So, but if you watch these movies now, they're quite hilarious. All right, here's one that's not an 80s one. Came out a few years ago. Overlord. which was absolutely, I thought it was kick-ass. Definitely a good sci-fi horror film. A lot of action in that one. Very fast-paced. Obviously, it's a new movie, so the graphics kick-ass. So definitely go for that. Okay, so there's some debate on this one. I Am Legend, right? Is it a sci-fi horror movie? You would think that it is, right? So, I mean, it's based on the book, which is a horror book. But remember, in the book, they're vampires. But I guess the science with the plague. But then again, maybe not. But I've seen I Am Legend listed on like 20 other sites. So I put it in here on the list. Although whether I'm going to include it in my blog, not sure. But we'll see, right? See if it makes the cut. But I did love the movie, although the ending completely... friggin' Hollywood, man. They love fucking up everything that's good. That's all I gotta say. You know. Yes, at least Top Gun was good. And I did like it. I am an 80s guy. I still got my bomber's jacket that I bought when I was 12 years old from watching the first one. And I thought they kicked ass on the new movie. My opinion. There you go. All right, let's keep going. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Anyone you watch is good. Go for it. I do like the Donald Sutherland version the best, but anyone you want, go for it. Okay. Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein. Frankenstein is my favorite novel of all time. I love the old black and whites. I'm a big black and white fan. I even love silent movies. This is not a silent movie. It's definitely science fiction. It's horror too. It's sci-fi horror. Friggin' love it. Absolutely fantastic. So, okay, The Invisible Man. Yes, you could get the old one too, but the new one that they came out with, I was actually pretty impressed with. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I was watching it with my wife in about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour into it. We took a break, and I said, this movie's about to get really damn good. I could feel it. And then we go back and watch it within 5 minutes. Some great hacking came up. I enjoyed the concept. Fantastic. How the Invisible Man is the Invisible Man. I won't say it because I'm not going to give you a spoiler. All right, here's a Jeff Goldblum classic, The Fly. Absolutely fantastic, man. Seth Brundle, great movie. Effects are a little bit better than the B-rated ones, but it's damn good fun, The Fly. And probably Jeff Goldblum's finest performance. Let's go. Okay. I gotta mention Aliens and Alien, of course. But I'm trying not to go like with all the mainstream movies. I'm trying to go more like B-rated or, underrated type of movies. Put it in there. And then, okay. Now I'll probably get a lot of pushback on this next one. All right. But in my opinion, it's a fantastic movie. All right. Why is it a fantastic movie? When you're going to see a slasher film, you want creative kills and high kill count, right? So when I watched Jason 10 or Jason X as it's called, I think it's like 1,000 years later after Friday the 13th, and they come down to Earth, which is uninhabitable at this point, and they're looking to find like old relics and stuff like that, and they come upon Jason, who's like frozen or something like that, and they bring him up into their ship, and he's in space, and he wakes up on the ship, and there's fantastic kills. So I enjoy that Friday the 13th thoroughly. So there you go. There's my sci-fi horror movie list for you. Let's go. What's next for your writing and release-wise? Okay, so Jiggly Spot and the Zero Intellect will be the next book that I am publishing, and that'll be coming out sometime in 2023, as well as The Rose Volume 3 will come out in 2023. I do have a horror thriller, kind of urban fantasy-esque type of novella series called Girl on a Mission. That's also a lot in 2023. Like I said, I like to take my time, so it's good to take your time. So enjoy. But I do have books out now. Go and read them. Enjoy. Sign up for my newsletter as well, because that's where you're going to find like free books, beta reading opportunities, cover reveals. You get first dibs on everything. So why wouldn't you sign up for the newsletter? Right? Damn it. I'm out of time. I ain't get to my stuff. But those are the breaks, and that's the way it goes. I'm sorry. Let me do one question, though. All right, I do have one question. All right, I'm going to do a quick lightning round. I know someone else is starting. John Carpenter or Wes Craven? John Carpenter, definitely. Clive Barker or Stephen King? Actually, Clive Barker. Tolkien or Martin? I'm a Tolkien guy. Freddy Krueger or Freddie Mercury? Freddie Mercury. Yeah. All right. And let's see. Last question. You're hunkered down, waiting for a giant asteroid to crash into the Earth and destroy all of humanity, when you suddenly get a telepathic communication from an alien ship asking if you'd like to be picked up and go to a new planet with the aliens, of course, but you only have a minute to decide. What do you do? I'm on the ship. I've already talked to my family. They're all on board with me. They're coming too. I hope you're all coming, and we can go hang out and do what we got to do. Another ship somewhere, other planet. Maybe we'll get it right this time. All right. Anyway, I love you. Thank you, Michael Evans. Thank you, Fantasy and Sci-Fi Focus Group, and anyone else who's watching this. Be bold, be beautiful, be brilliant, be fucking cool, and be extraordinary. Life kicks ass. Enjoy it.